I think raptors are very unique birds and they have very unique needs when they're in care. I mean, what they need to eat can't be found easily, like you can't go and buy a rat in Woolies. Learning how to properly act and how to handle the raptors was a huge challenge. I mean, it's very easy to be nervous when you're crouched down face to face with a giant wedge-tailed eagle whose body is about as big as my own. But learning to kind of overcome that and be confident and give them the care that they need to get without being nervous around them.
On our typical day, we will go through every single bird. We kind of talk about which birds we've got in care, what we need to do. We'll do our basic exams if we need to look at eyes or things like that.
This little guy has an issue with his eye. Do you want to take it?
No, you want to. When did you first notice that?
Just yesterday.
And then we just discuss the plans with the birds and decide what the next steps are in their rehabilitation process. That's not good. Unfortunately, do you want to have a look more?
Yeah.
See the cataract forming in the pupil?
Yeah.
So that's probably been in the making for a while. This little bulb probably has been from the trauma. It's now developing a cataract.
Yeah.
And that means that it's probably not going to be releasable because they obviously need two eyes to hunt their prey. Yeah.
The adult powerful owl that I was giving eye drops to this morning has been transferred here from another institution, from Taronga Zoo. He had a dislocation of his wrist, which is a really tough injury, and we found he has some issues with his eyes as well through a recent checkup, and so we're giving him eye drops to hopefully resolve that issue. He hasn't been eating much at all.
The biggest challenge when you rehabilitate raptors is to prepare them to be fit to be released. So pre-release fitness is a really critical point. It is quite easy to get them to get some level of flight again, but to get a flight and a fitness that allows them to hunt in the wild again is a different level of fitness. Yeah.
When they're ready for release, they'll show you that they're ready.
The unique thing in this aviary, so when we're thinking about our standard rectangular aviaries, we're really talking about a bird that's flying backward and forward and backward and forward, often less than 10 wing beats at a time, because for a wedge-tailed eagle to do 10 wing beats, that's quite a considerable distance. So the special thing about this circular flight aviary, and particularly the central pavilion in the middle, is that birds are allowed to do continuous flight. without stopping, often much beyond 10 wing beats at a time.
There's nothing like this in the Southern Hemisphere. So Peggy spent some time in the Arab Emirates and working with those people who have been doing this for hundreds of years, and learnt a lot of skills and really emulated a lot of the aviary systems that they've developed over many, many years. Historically, there was this myth really that wedge-tailed eagles were stealing baby lambs. They will occasionally take a baby lamb, but it's generally one that's sick and not going to make it anyway. And the percentage of those compared to the number of sheep in Australia is minuscule. It's sad that some of the wedge-tailed eagles in here have been shot. Some have been poisoned, some have been caught inadvertently in netting and chicken coops and things like that, or hit by car. So most of the problems that our raptors here face, and wildlife in general in Australia face, are man-made. So I think that the more we can get the message out there and the more success stories we can portray, you show the magnificence of those birds and how they are in the wild, and take away our human negativities about what they may or may not do, people appreciate things far more.
I think any wildlife rehab will tell you that the release is definitely the most special part of the process. You are with these animals for so long and you form a really close connection with them, and then letting them go is almost bittersweet, but I think it's really special. It's really great to see them go back out where they belong. When I see them in the wild, I can never not stop and stare at them for a little while. It sort of reminds me why we do what we do here, when we can see the birds of prey out doing their thing and hunting. And it reminds you that no matter how much space you give them, it will never be like their home.